to the 296th Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering. Storytelling is an intrinsic part of human life. Through the power of language, human beings tell stories to convey important information to each other. To help others, we tell truthful stories about situations that we have experienced. We may also tell fictional stories to inform others. For example, in the past, fictional stories were made up about the big bad wolf to let children know that wolves are dangerous animals. This would have been useful for small children to learn about the dangers present in the environment. Fictional storytelling may also be used for entertainment, but also as an important way for individuals to come together to strengthen community bonds. In the present day, storytelling has a more sinister impact on our lives. Storytelling has become a tool of oppression. Those with the power to control what is presented in the media knowingly use storytelling to manipulate the masses. The media typically present us with various types of story. Some story types are presented as true accounts of reality that are meant to be taken seriously, while others are commonly presented as fictional drama, meant to be entertaining and occasionally convey a useful social message. Unfortunately, truth and fiction in the media has become blurred. It is often difficult or impossible to distinguish between true and fictional narratives. News stories are presented as if they are absolutely true and serious, but often they turn out to be false or used to suggest the way we should live our lives. Dramatic entertainment often includes elements assumed to be based on reality. Entertainment narratives often reinforce popular belief in elements of manipulative propaganda present in news narratives. In our everyday lives, we have the opportunity to distinguish between what is clearly true and what is clearly fictional. We are able to do this by experiencing the world around us through our senses. We discount information that doesn't fit with our own direct experiences. However, stories may be told to suggest a reality that we cannot verify for ourselves. One trick is to suggest a consensus of opinion by creating the illusion of a false reality. This is achieved by employing multiple media outlets pushing the same basic propaganda stories. Without obtaining good evidence, information presented to us by media need to be treated with great skepticism. The story of the Sydney Harbour sea monster provides us a great example of a narrative that shouldn't be automatically believed. The story suggests that the Sydney Harbour sea monster is responsible for many of the bad things that happen here in Sydney. Whenever we get rained on, the narrative says that it is because the Sydney Harbour sea monster is sneezing. It is impossible to see the Sydney Harbour sea monster sneezing because it is perpetually surrounded by cloud, unless it is completely submerged beneath the sea. The narrative of the Sydney Harbour sea monster is unfalsifiable, like many highly influential propaganda narratives. The Sydney Harbour sea monster narrative is silly, and most people do not take it seriously. However, many people believe the propaganda narratives, which are constructed to seem sensible and presented widely to suggest there is a consensus of opinion that they are true. We should not believe any story that is unfalsifiable, even if many other people believe it or appear to believe it. Those who oppress the masses fund orchestrated propaganda campaigns to influence the masses. Mass belief in an unfalsifiable narrative requires repetitive and widespread media communication, which often includes material from non-mainstream podcasters. We need to become immune to all propaganda narratives because they are counterproductive to living healthy and rewarding lives. We need to come out of the dark ages of blind belief and base our actions on verifiable truth. The Assange movement continues. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Thank you.
Can you give some information?
Control.
think it means that if execution was illegal in Australia, that would be a possibility. But it wouldn't change my view. I wouldn't. I'd be assaulted in the life of the country. And I think we can win this.
I think